Everything is falling apart. The deadline is gone. The relationship is cracked. The plan you built your whole life around just collapsed in a single afternoon. And somewhere in your chest, there is a quiet voice asking the same question everyone asks in that moment. Why me? Why now? But what if that question is the trap? What if the very thing that is crushing you right now is the exact thing that was supposed to make you? 2,000 years ago, a dying emperor wrote a secret to himself that he never meant for you to read, and it turns everything you believe about failure inside out. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you will never look at a closed door the same way again. Rome, the 2nd century after Christ, a man sits alone in a cold military tent on the frozen edge of the empire. Outside, the plague is eating his soldiers alive. Whole villages are emptying. The bodies are stacked faster than they can be burned. His treasury is drained. Barbarian tribes are pressing against the border like a flood against a cracking dam. And his own body is failing him, racked with pain, kept moving only by the medicine of a nervous physician. This man is Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful human being on earth, and he is losing. Here is what almost no one realizes about him. He never wanted the throne. He was a quiet boy who loved philosophy, who wanted a life of study and stillness. Power was dropped onto his shoulders like a stone he never asked to carry. And now, decades later, everything that could go wrong is going wrong at once. War, disease, betrayal, grief. He buried most of his own children. Let that sit for a moment. Most of his children lowered into the ground while he still had an empire to run. Any normal man breaks here, he turns to wine, to rage, to blaming the gods. And this is where it gets strange, because in that freezing tent, by candlelight, Marcus does not write a letter demanding help. He does not write a decree. He takes out a private journal and he begins to write notes to himself. Reminders, instructions for how to survive his own mind. He was never going to publish it. He wrote it purely to stay sane. And in the middle of those pages, buried among the pain, he writes a single line that would echo for 2,000 years. He writes that the mind adapts and converts every obstacle into fuel, that what stands in the way becomes the way. Read that again. What stands in the way becomes the way. He is not saying the obstacle is easy. He is not saying it will not hurt. He is saying something far more dangerous. He is saying the obstacle itself is the path forward. The very thing blocking you is the thing pointing you where to go. But how could a man drowning in plague and war and grief possibly believe that? What did he see that we cannot? To understand it, you have to understand what the Stoics actually discovered. And it is not what most people think. They notice something simple, almost too simple. When something bad happens, there are always two events, not one. There is the thing itself, and there is your story about the thing, the event, and the interpretation, the rain that falls, and the person who calls it a ruined day. The same cold water falls on the farmer who has been praying for it and calls it a miracle. The event is identical, the experience is opposite, and the entire difference lives inside one place, the human mind. Now bring this home, because you have lived this. Think about the last time your plans collapsed, the job that fell through, the message that never came back, the morning you did not want to get out of bed because the weight of it all felt like a hand pressing on your chest. In that moment, what hurt you was not only the event, it was the story you wrapped around it. This ruins everything. I always fail. It is too late for me. That story felt like the truth. It felt like simple facts, but it was not facts. It was a choice you did not know you were making. The Stoics were not soft dreamers telling you to smile through pain. These were soldiers, statesmen, former slaves, men who had been exiled and imprisoned and sentenced to death. They earned this knowledge in blood. And what they found was this: you almost never control the event, but you always control the meaning. And meaning is where your power actually lives. Marcus knew he could not stop the plague. He could not raise his dead children. He could not command the barbarians to lay down their weapons. So he did the only radical thing left. He stopped fighting reality, and he started using it. He asked a different question. Not why is this happening to me, but what does this make possible? What virtue does this demand from me right now that comfort never could? And here is the turning point that changes everything, because the obstacle does not just block you. The obstacle reveals you. Think about it. You never discover your courage on an easy day. You discover it the moment you are terrified and you act anyway. You never find your patience when everything goes your way. You find it when everything falls apart and you refuse to become cruel. The traffic jam is a chance to practice calm. The rude customer is a chance to practice dignity. The betrayal is a chance to discover exactly how unbreakable you can become. The very situation you are cursing is the only classroom where the strongest version of you can possibly be born. This is what Marcus understood in that tent. The plague, the war, the grief. They were not interruptions of his life. They were the material of his life. The obstacle was not in the way of becoming a great man. The obstacle was the way. And here is the part that should give you chills. Modern science has quietly proven him right. Psychologists today have a name for it. They call it post-traumatic growth. For decades, everyone assumed hardship simply damages people, and sometimes it does. But researchers kept finding something they could not explain. A huge number of people who go through the worst moments of their lives do not just recover. They come out stronger, more focused, more grateful, more alive than they ever were before the crisis hit. People who survived illness, loss, ruin, and later described it with total sincerity as the best thing that ever happened to them. How is that possible? Because the crisis ripped away everything fake. It burned off the trivial. It forced them to find out who they really were underneath comfort. The obstacle did not break them. It revealed them. Exactly as the Stoics said it would, 18 centuries before we had a word for it. But knowing this is not enough, because your mind in the middle of pain will not naturally think this way. It will panic. It will spiral. So the Stoics built a practice, a mental move you can make tonight, the very next time life slams a door in your face. It works in 3 steps, and it is brutally simple. First, see it clearly. When the obstacle hits, do not exaggerate it and do not deny it. Strip the story away and look at only the raw facts. Not "I am ruined," just "this specific thing happened." The panic lives inside the story, not the fact. Cut the story and you cut the panic in half instantly. Second, ask the reversal question. Look straight at the obstacle and ask, where is the door here? What does this make possible that was impossible before? The lost job frees the time. The ended relationship reveals the truth. The failure teaches the lesson no success ever could. There is always a door. Your only job is to look for it instead of staring at the wall. Third, take one small action. Not the whole solution, just the next right move. The Stoics were obsessed with action because action kills anxiety. Anxiety is what happens when your mind spins with no direction. The moment you do one small useful thing, the spinning stops. You are no longer the victim of the obstacle. You are working on it. And that shift from frozen to moving is everything. See it clearly. Find the door. Take one step. That is the entire method that carried an emperor through a collapsing world. Now, come back to that question from the very beginning. Why me? Why now? Marcus Aurelius would give you an answer that sounds almost impossible at first. He would say, because this is your chance. Because comfort could never build what this hardship can. Because the man or woman you are capable of becoming is on the other side of this exact obstacle, and there is no other road there, not around it, only through it. The emperor died on a cold frontier, still at war, his body finally giving out. He never saw peace. By every ordinary measure, he lost. And yet 2,000 years later, we do not remember the emperors who had easy reigns. We remember him, the one who suffered everything and turned every ounce of it into wisdom that still saves lives today, including maybe yours. So here's the truth to carry with you. The obstacle in front of you right now is not the end of your story. It is the plot. It is the exact place where the strongest version of you is waiting to be forged. The wall is not there to stop you. It is there to show you how to climb. What stands in the way becomes the way. If this reached something in you, do not let it fade the moment you close the app. Subscribe and let these ideas keep finding you on the days you need them most, because the next obstacle is already coming, and now you know exactly what it really is.